Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein and I will be your presenter here for the next 20 minutes. Today we are going to be talking about the new auto-assign numbers for giver numbers in the donations module today. It's in my opinion a lot simpler way to go about reorganizing and reassigning your giver numbers for the new year. You have a couple options when you go to reassign your giver numbers. You can do it manually, meaning you can go through one by one and end numbers and start new ones. You don't even have to use giver numbers, or you can go through and just update certain people, leaving the same person with the same number year to year if you want. A lot of customers I talk to, they actually order giving envelopes, so they like to condense and clean up their giver numbers from year to year, so they're only ordering so many envelopes. So that is, if that's something your church does, this is really a great tool to help you reorganize and reorder those envelopes for your givers for the next year. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that using the new feature. Again, I think it's a lot simpler than the old way used to be, which is really exciting. It is different, but I think it's easier. Also, I am using our New Year prep document for this. So we just got that completed and cleaned up in preparation for the new year. So the donations New Year prep steps for 2022. When I get this webinar cleaned up and uploaded on the website later today, I'm also going to update the New Year prep page along with getting this document up there as well. So along with showing you the new auto-assign feature, it's going to go over some other things that you can consider doing in donations in preparation for the new year. There's not anything you have to do. There's no end-of-year procedure or anything like that that we used to have in older modules. But this is a nice document to give you some things that you might want to consider looking into in preparations for the next year. It is just me today. Josh isn't in helping with questions, so if you have a question, feel free to type that in on your GoToWebinar toolbar. I will get to it once I'm done presenting. We'll do a little Q&A at the end. If the webinar's over, you've got the information you're looking for, again, feel free to just head out. That's totally fine. What else? I think that's all of the prep things I wanted to go over. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. As you can see, I am in the newest version of Church Windows. It's version 23.21.0. So if you are on support and have a version that is prior to this, feel free to reach out to us and we can get you a new one. If you're not on support, again, reach out to us and we can help get you onto support so you can get up to the most current version. Keep in mind the new auto-assign feature for giver numbers exists in the new version. Okay, so you have to be on version 23 to be able to do the new features that I'm going to be going over with you today. All right, let's go into donations. Now, the first thing you always want to do, this is how it was before in older versions too, is you have to clean up your old giver numbers first, okay? To do that, you're going to go up to Givers up at the top and you're going to go into Manage Numbers. Manage Numbers, in my opinion, is the best screen for editing or managing your giver numbers. All right, so anyone who no longer needs a giver number, you're going to have to end their number. All right, so if you have someone who left the church, someone who moved away, someone who passed away, whatever the reasoning might be, you have to end that giver number so it becomes available to you when you do your reassignment for the new year. Okay, best place to do that again is here in Manage Numbers. Manage Numbers is going to show you everyone who currently has a giver number. So the only people you are going to see here are people's current numbers, as you can see indicated by this box on the right. So again, anybody who's moved away, passed away, doesn't need a number. Simply click in here and give them an end date of the last day of the year. All right. You can use the little calendar if you want. You can hit the down arrow and pick the specific day that you want, December 31st. I find myself always fighting with the calendar, so I like to just simply click in the box and type in the day that their number needs to end, which is the last day of the year, And by doing this, that means number 5 is then going to be available for you when you do your auto reassignment for the 1st of 2022. Okay? So make sure you go through here and get all those end dates put in before you even begin your auto reassignment. All right, so once you have this completed, I'm going to close out of here, and I am going to go up to the auto assign number option up here at the top. You're always going to get this message just letting you know that while this window is open, you also cannot have the Manage Giver Number screen open. So if you are networked and you are working in here, you have exclusive access to giver numbers. That's all this message is telling you. Just click OK to get through it. All right, so here we are. This is now the new auto reassign screen. If you're used to the previous screen, there was like a choose givers or a person picker screen first, and then it took you into a new window where you actually did the reassignment. Now everything is in one spot. A lot more streamlined in my opinion. So a couple things I want to point out across the top. You have up here several different filtering options. All right, if it's turned on, it's blue. If it's turned off, it's gray. So you can decide based on the information you're wanting to do, who you're wanting to reassign numbers for. You can shift these slides either to the left or the right if you want them showing or not showing. Okay, so givers with current numbers, we're going to display that. Givers with no current numbers, that's up to you if you want that on or off. I'm going to switch that off for today's example. Inactive givers with no numbers. I don't want to see those people, so I'm going to turn that off. This is for children. If you want to see children with a directory report order of 3, you could either turn that on or off. If you don't assign giver numbers to kids, you can switch that off. You can also specify to show only children. So some people I talk to, they have a certain number of giver number range they do for children's envelopes. If that's something you need to do, you now have the option to just do the reassignment for kids. You can show membership groups, and then you can also show givers whose last number ended on 12/31/2021. I don't want to see those people because I purposely ended those numbers because they don't need to be included. So we're going to leave that to not showing. But again, you can come in here and play with these slides and get them exactly where you need them for your reassignment. I have it configured as I see most of the customers I talk to and what their needs are. Okay, so I'm just going to hit the little X here to get rid of that now that I've made my filter adjustments. Down here at the bottom, you also have a search box. If you have a specific person you want to give a number to, so say it's a new person, someone who hasn't had a number, has never had a number, they're not popping up in this list because they're not part of the current giver numbers, but you want to include them, you could simply search for them in the list and pull them in so they're part of the reassignment for next year. Over here on the right side, you can specify what sort order you want these people in. Again, most of the people I talk to, when they go in and reassign their giver numbers, they want alphabetically, A to Z, and then they're having it starting at 1 and then going up incrementally. Typically, that's what I see. Doesn't mean that's how you have to do it, but most people who do the auto assign want the numbers assigned in alphabetical order. So in this sort by box, I'm going to hit the down arrow. I'm going to change this to name. All right, and then I'm going to hit apply sort. My list has now shifted, and we can see the little arrow here is now on name, telling me that it's sorting in alphabetical order. Okay. Then you can specify a range here if you wish to do that. You can also add a range if you always have a specific set of grouping of numbers you want to assign to certain people. Then right here at the bottom you have starting with. This is going to start with number 1. I want my new numbers to start at number 1. You can also use a get next number. If you decide you don't want to restart at 1, you want to start at the next available number, you could use that get next number, and it's automatically going to go out and let you know what the next available number is. Here's this new number start date. This is where you tell the software when you want the new numbers to begin. Okay? It's going to default to the first day of the new year. I'm obviously not going to change that for this purpose, but there might be a time when you do need to adjust the start date. If that's the case, you can do that here. okay? If everything up here looks correct, let me scroll down through. Yep, everything here looks great. Everyone over here is selected. As I just unclick that, there we go. And everybody's in green, showing you that they're all selected. All right, at this point, I want my new numbers to start with number 1. This column here, this is my new number starting 1/1/2022. As soon as I hit this Assign Selected button, it's going to come in. It's going to update this whole row starting at 1 and working its way up. Hit Assign Selected. Numbers will be assigned to all selected or checked givers, which is what we just verified here, currently visible in the grid. They will be sorted by name, which is what I specified here. It's just reiterating that information to make sure I know what my selections have been, and I'm going to hit Assign. Now, when you look in my new number starting column, you can see starting at 1, working all its way up to 80. I now have my givers sorted in alphabetical order and in chronological order as well. It's as simple as that, which is so great compared to the way it used to be. I love it. Down here at the bottom, you have the option to reset to current numbers. So if you find you're not happy with what happened here, you can definitely do this reset to current number for selected. Okay, you can come in here and you can uncheck people if you find there's someone on the list that you really don't want to have a number. You can simply do this unselect box by clicking right here. Okay, once everything looks good, down here at the lower right, you're going to hit Save and Close. And it's going to ask you, would you like to print a report? Another great new feature. A lot of times people would call, they'd assign their new giver numbers, they'd be like, well, now I need to print a report of this. Well, of course, now you can do that. Say yes. It's going to take you to your list giver numbers report. It's going to use numbers current as of 1/1/2022, only assigned numbers. I'm going to hit print. And now I have that new list of everybody and what their 2022 number is. Okay. So much easier. So much more streamlined in my opinion, and hopefully you guys find it that way as well.